Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. When it comes to JRPG, what is your first impression? I must say JRPG is a very special genre. There are many different types of RPG in the world. There are American RPG, European RPG, or Chinese RPG. Have you ever wondering why only JRPG got its own genre? I think it's because players admire its unique gameplay style, great storytelling, and maybe the culture. Those are the elements which make JRPG special. However, in the past 2 decades, the Western developers had a revolutionary change. While JRPG still lives in its good old days, the improvement of Western RPG is visible. We have series like Elder Scrolls, Dragon Age, and Fallout. JRPG is no longer considered as a mainstream on the Western market. When people talk about JRPG these days, things will pop in the head are grinding, outdated turn-based battle system, time-consuming, and grinding. Wait, I say grinding already. Anyway, you can see how JRPG this genre goes from positive to negative. As a player who grew up in Asia, I must say JRPG has a huge impact there. Even to this day, JRPG still has pretty huge fanbase in Asia. If you ever check my PS4 collection, you know I own a lot of JRPG. Even though I don't have time to play most of those games, but I still buy them anyway, because of good old memories. As some of you know, I've been working on my huge backlog for a couple years. Having those JRPGs sit there unplayed, it does bother me. That's why I want to start this unlimited JRPG challenge. I'm going to pick 3 franchises from my entire collection. The goal is to finish as many of them as possible. When I say finish, I mean getting all the trophies. We will discuss more detail in the end. Now let's check which 3 franchises I pick. The first is probably the most popular JRPG franchise on the Western market. You guessed it, Final Fantasy series. The second is considering the rival of Final Fantasy, that is Tales of series. Last not least, the franchise which didn't catch a lot of attention until A Woman with Thick Thighs. Without a doubt, we are talking about Atelier series. Next, we are going to look into all the games from those 3 franchises. I will give an overview of each game. Then we want to figure out how long it will take to finish each one of them. What kind of challenges we might face. Like I said, in the end I will talk about how this challenge actually works. Without further ado, let's start with the first franchise. There are some Final Fantasy games in front of the camera. However, not all of them are RPG. For this challenge, we want to focus on RPG only. This is a written game. Final Fantasy Explorers is a RPG, but it's similar to Monster Hunter, so I will not include it. Dissidia Final Fantasy is a fighting game. What left are 1010 HD and the Zodiac Age. My biggest issue with Final Fantasy is its turn-based battle system. There are many different types of turn-based systems. The one Final Fantasy uses is the one I hate the most. I always feel it's way too complicated. That's why I gave up on 10 in 2014. I spent hours in this game, and its battle systems really turned me off. In order to play on this game, you will require 120 hours. Dodging 200 lightning strikes will be a huge challenge. For 10-2, it will require at least 130 hours. Monster Master will be the most grind trophy. I will say 10 and 10-2 are the type of games I will not buy today. For the Zodiac Age, there is a funny story why I purchased this game. One day there is a post in the forum. He talked about there is a loophole to make the game easier. I didn't read the content, I just read the title, then I bought the game. When I was about to start this game, I found out that the loophole actually requires some additional works. It's not that straightforward. Anyway, to play on this game, you will require close to 100 hours. Complete the 100th try will be tough. I probably will still try to use that loophole if I'm going to play this game. I just want to make my life easier. Final Fantasy is a very popular series, but it's just hard for me to get into it. So far, I only played on 2 Final Fantasy games. The first one is Type 0 HD, and that is an action RPG. I actually like it because it's not turn-based. The other one is World of Final Fantasy, which is part of 10 PS4 game I must play in 2022. That's it for Final Fantasy. Let's move to the next franchise. Here we have Tales of series. One of the biggest difference between Tales of and Final Fantasy is battle system. Tales of uses the real-time action battle system, and that's one thing I really like about it. The only game I play now from the series is Tales of Atelier. The game has a very good story and soundtrack. However, not every Tales of game comes with a good story. Yep, I'm talking about Tales of Atelier. I cannot finish this one because of its terrible story. Also, this game is pretty hard and grinding. You need to beat the final boss in the highest difficulty without retry. I would say 100 plus hours is required to get a platinum and all the DLC trophies. With a better story, I'm just not sure if this is really worth my time. Let's look into other games. I want to start with a PS3 game, Tales of Atelier 2. I actually spent some time in this game already, however I didn't unlock any trophy, then I lost patience, so I stopped playing. Back to the day, if I didn't see any trophy pops in first few hours, I would just abandon the game. That's also another problem for Tales of series. Most trophies will not unlock until the end of the game. To play on this one, 100 hours is expected. Getting all the titles will be annoying. Also, need to watch out some missable trophies. Next is a Vita game, Tales of Hearts R. This one was GameStop exclusive back to the day. I think I stopped after beating the first boss. The game is not too bad. I played on PSTV. It will probably take 80 hours to get a play now. You need to beat the final boss in highest difficulty. You also need to get high scores in a minigame. If I want to go back to this game, I probably should start it from scratch. Now let's check PS4 games. The first one is Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. This is another hard one. If you want to get a play now, it probably will cost you 200 hours. This game also has a lot of missable trophies. It's definitely a challenge play now to get. Here we have Tales of Vesperia. The game actually received some positive reviews. To get a play now, 120 hours is expected. The game is really grind and a lot of collectibles. Seeing every Mystic Arte is one of the hardest trophies in the game. Last one here is Tales of Arise. I bought this one recently. This is the latest title from the series. They made a lot of changes in this game. You only need 60 hours to get a play now. Unlike all the Tales of games, which you need at least 2 playthroughs to get a play now, Tales of Arise only requires 1. I'm glad they actually made a change on their trophy list. I must say I like Tales of series, but their trophy list is always pain in the ass. The last franchise is Atelier series. I have a lot of Atelier games, so let's break them into series. Each Atelier series has 3 to 4 games. It also has 2 different types of gameplay styles, time limit and no time limit. For the time limit style, player needs to complete the tasks under a certain amount of time. I personally had it a lot because it will require multiple playthroughs unless you follow a guide. Let's start with my first Atelier game, Atelier Rorona Plus. Rorona is the first game of the Alan series. I also have Totori, Miruru, and the original Rorona. All 3 games have time limit, and that's why I gave up on Rorona in 2016. I almost finished my first playthrough. Each game requires 80 to 100 hours to get a play now. Without a guide, it will take longer. Also, Miruru will require minimum 2 playthroughs. I used to think it would be nice to get a play announce from those games. That's why I bought the original Rorona, so I can stake it. However, I totally forgot how long it will take to finish all of them. Another series which was released on PS3 is Dusk series. I only have one game, which is Atelier Aisha. The first game of the series. I also own Shali Plus on PS Vita. I got a play now, and that is a pretty decent game. Aisha also has time limit. It will require 80 hours to get a play now. PS3 edition might be easier than Plus edition, since player doesn't need to build a game on hard mode. Let's move to PS4. We have entire Mysterious series here. The first game of this series is Sophie. Sophie is my first Atelier play now. There is no time limit, so I like it. I also have Furious, Lily and Sully, and Sophie 2. You can finish each of them around 50 hours. It is less time consuming compared to those PS3 titles. Furious is the only one has time limit, which is still B. Before we check Risa, there is a special Atelier game we want to talk about first. That is Neoka, the legendary alchemist, Ateliers of the New World. This one does not belong to any series. This is an Atelier 20th anniversary title. The gameplay is somewhat different. Neoka is kind of like a town simulation game. To get a play now, it will require 70 hours. I don't think there is anything really difficult, it's just grinding and time consuming. Let's check the most popular series, Atelier Risa. I have both 1 and 2. Both games have no time limit. You can finish each one of them under 50 hours. Both trophy lists are pretty straightforward and doable. This might be the series I will start this challenge with. Those are all the games from those 3 franchises. Let's talk about how this challenge works. The reason I call it unlimited is because there's no deadline. Unlike 10 PS4 games I must play, which I need to finish them by the end of each year. This challenge will keep going and we will also add new games into the list. What we are going to do is set a couple checkpoints each year. We will review how many games I actually finished and how many games I add into the list. However, there's one restriction. Whenever the list reaches 20 games, I cannot add any more games into it. Right now we have exactly 20 games. That means I cannot buy any game from those 3 franchises. If I want to buy Risa 3, I need to finish at least 1 game from current list. Of course, if I reduce the number to single digit, I will add another franchise into the list. It could be Persona or Ni no Kuni series. We will figure it out when the time comes. I'm definitely looking forward to play those JRPG. Just like I said, I probably will start with Atelier series since I have a lot of Atelier games. I expect to finish 2 to 3 games by the end of this year. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching and I hope to see you soon.